Hey guys, in this video we will talk about the purpose of the soul. So in most of the religions of the world, they believe that when we are born, we do have a soul. We do have a purpose in the life. The soul has some lessons it needs to learn in order to move up to the next level. So through Vedic astrology, we can now predict what is the purpose of the soul. Let's go through this video to understand more about what is an Atmakaraka planet and how we can get to know the purpose with which we are born. So, what actually is this Atmakaraka? This shows your soul's desire significator. With what desire we are born, how we are going to be elevated to the next level. It shows the purpose of the life. Like throughout our life, we try to find a meaning of our life. Why are we here? What is the purpose? What actually are we trying to do? So, Sun is the original Atmakaraka. Alright, so they say Sun is associated with the soul and is the original Atmakaraka. So, if you have to see anything related with the soul, first look at Sun, and then there is one more thing that we have to closely observe, and that's something called as Chara Atmakaraka. Now, what is this Chara Atmakaraka? So, if you open your horoscope, if you go over the degrees of the planet, which will be between 0 to 30 degrees, so in that case, you will be able to find the planet with the highest degree. Again, you have to find the planet with the highest degree. So, agreed, Sun is the original Atmakaraka, but the soul's desire or the lessons in this life will be determined by looking at this Chara Atmakaraka. Alright, example, among rest 8 of the planets, you have, say, Moon at 27 degrees. The rest of the planets are less than this 27 degrees. Suppose you have Moon 27 degrees and then the subcategories of that. What is the Kala? What is the Vikla? Say 27 degrees and 51 Kala, and then you have Mars 27 degrees and 55 Kala. So in that case, Mars then will be a Chara Atmakaraka. Now, the different stages of planet. They can be uh, retrograde, and they can be Stambhya, which they call it as current. So if the planet is retrograde, in that case, the lessons are going to be more tougher. So 3 categories. When retrograde, second, the planet is not retrograde, as the normal cycle they are going through, and the third one is they are Stambhya or current. So if you have a Chara Atmakaraka that is retrograde, the lessons will be more tougher. little harder as compared with some planet or Atmakaraka who is not retrograde. Except Sun and Moon, the rest all the planets can be retrograde. Rahu and Ketu are always retrograde. The Rahu and Ketu, which is the north node and the south node. Alright? Alright. Now let's go over the different planets and their lessons. Starting with Sun. So if you have Sun as your Chira Atmakaraka, in this case, the lesson you will be learning is how to find success, name, fame, and glory. So that's the purpose of the soul, and as a part of that, you will have to find out the different ways to make your name in the society. This person will have a craving to get famous until they are able to now relate with their purpose and the desire of soul. They won't be happy. They will be restless at times. So whatever field you are, try to be expert in that. Eventually, you will come to a position where success and recognition will come naturally to you. That's about Sun. Let's move on to Moon. With Moon, the lesson you will learn is how to love someone without any expectation. So it's going to have you pass through different situations, which makes you realize that love is not a twofold game. It's not based on any condition, and in order to be happy, you have to learn to love people unconditionally. Look at it. I mean, like, from astrology perspective, what does Moon represent? Moon is mother. Moon represents your emotion, and hence loving without any expectation becomes the purpose of these people. All right, moving on to Venus. Now, let's understand Venus. Like, what is Venus all about? Venus is all about beauty. Venus is all about love. Venus is all about spark. So over here, what Venus is trying to teach is you need to have a balance in love and in lust. So there has to be a balance, and that's what Venus is trying to teach you. So you cannot go simply after beauty. You have to appreciate the beauty of heart rather than external beauty. Mercury will teach to speak the truth. Now, what is Mercury? Mercury is your prince. All right, Mercury represents young. Mercury represents childhood. So in this case, usually, like in situations, Mercury is also into the business. So people may resort to deceit to attain their objectives, to attain their goals. They can go to any level. So Mercury here is trying to teach you to be honest in your dealings. It's trying to teach you to always speak the truth. And the wisdom that you have, use it for the welfare of the society rather than your own welfare. So Mercury over here is trying to teach you to not be selfish, and the wisdom that you have share it with other people, help make the society better. So that's what Mercury is trying to teach us, a life lesson. All right, moving on to Mars. So if you have Mars as your Chara Atmakaraka, it shows someone who did not stand up for themselves in their previous lives, who in spite of being right were not able to confront to their oppressor. It can be someone who is victim of, say, some internal violence, some family violence. So, or maybe somebody who is bullied at school, somebody who has bad life experiences wherein they were in a position to stop something, but they did not stand up to their oppressors. So Mercury over here is trying to teach you to defeat your enemies, to stand up for yourself, to show and exhibit the courage. Moving on to Jupiter. Jupiter, you guys know, is Deva Guru, or teacher of all the Devatas. And what does a teacher teach? Teacher always gives you the knowledge, right? Without expecting anything in return except for the student has understood what the teacher has to teach and is creating good name for himself and is helping the society, right? So all the teachers want their students to be good human beings. That's what Jupiter over here is trying to teach you, to give without expecting anything in return. It can be anything. You can give your wealth, you can give knowledge, you can be a soldier for the country, you can be a spiritual guru, and there might be multiple situations in life that will teach you. So Jupiter will help you teach, help you learn from your life's lessons. Moving on to Saturn. Saturn is a tough master. Saturn is a tough teacher. It will punish you if you don't do the right things. All right. So in this case, Saturn teaches you discipline. You cannot do something, you keep on wasting your time, you keep on wasting your energy for something where you should not be investing your time in the first place. All right. So if you are a spoiled kid, right, if you are a spoiled brat, you don't respect your elders, you don't spend your time wisely. So Saturn over here will teach you discipline. It will also push you beyond the limits such that you find happiness in being lonely. Loneliness makes you happy. It will make you tough. You will start finding the meaning of your life. All right. So Saturn over here will teach you life's lessons. You will find solitude. You may resort to meditation. There might be some unanswered questions which are not answered by anyone. Like you go to multiple people and you find out that you still don't have the answer, right? So eventually pushing you beyond the limits, having you go through some of the dark times of life, but towards the end, shaping you as a better person. All right. So that's what Saturn lessons are going to be for if he's your Atmakaraka. Moving on to Rahu. Now, if you look at Rahu, Rahu is all about being materialistic. Rahu is all about desires. But in this case, if he's your Atmakaraka, is going to play a different role. It's going to help you learn how to let go of desires. So there might be mixed results, like someone who has amassed a huge wealth, they have like properties, they have bank balance, and eventually all of a sudden you will find this guy become a Baba, this guy become a spiritual guru. So that's the job of Rahu, like letting go of your desires and accepting the spiritual fact, accepting your core purpose in life. So that's about Rahu. Once the soul has learned all these lessons, it will never come back on this plane. It will never come back on this planet. So that's something we call it as moksha. If you have learned your purpose of life, if you are able to fulfill that, that's it. You have attained nirvana. All right. Now, next question. This is all good. So will I learn my lesson the easy way, or will I have to give a lot of exams? As it happens with any other undergrad degree or graduate degree, is something called as ATKT, right? Allowed to keep term. Some people have to go through that. They flunk in your first exam, so they might have to write the exam second time, or they even fail their years. And some people sail through it smoothly. So if you're a doctor, if you're an engineer, or in some other profession, chartered, CPAs, some guys you will find them sailing through all their studies, course materials. They are able to spend time with their family and friends and still get good marks. Whereas some people, even though they study hard, they're not either able to get the marks, they don't get the campus interviews, and the last category of people, some are those like even after doing a decent amount of study, they are not able to clear the exams. Same is the case here. So how do I know the lessons will be easy? Look at your D9 chart, and if the Chara Atmakaraka is in the ascendant house or in the first house in your D9, the soul will learn lessons after some hardship. Example, say if Mars is your Chara Atmakaraka, all right, and in D9 you are a Leo ascendant and Mars is in the first house, all right. Now in that case, it might take some time for the soul to learn the lesson. There might be some hardships, but the second condition of that is if you have, say, Mars in the first house, going back to the same example, your Chara Atmakaraka is Mars, and D9 is in the first house along with Sun. Now, in this scenario, the lessons will be easy, all right? So that's all about Atmakaraka. There's a lot more things that I have to describe, which we'll do in the next few videos sometime. Until then, have a great evening, and or good morning or good afternoon, and see you again next week.